Joining us from Capitol Hill, member of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California. He's the ranking member of the subcommittee on the CIA.
Congressman, your job just got a lot easier.
I mean,
you can take up golfing now because there's sure not going to be an investigation in the House.
Right. It's time for Devin Nunes to leave this investigation, let alone lead it. So he should be gone. And what we saw was going over to the White House, he went to receive information that, you know, Joe, we can receive at the Capitol. We have our own secure facility. If this was done the proper way, they could have brought it over, shared it with both members, both parties of the committee. But this was done because the White House wanted it to be done. And this is what a cover-up to a crime looks like. We are watching it play out right now.
Hey, Congressman, has this investigation, the House investigation, been so badly damaged that even if Devin Nunes recuses himself and is off the committee, is the investigation over in the House side?
It's been compromised. That's why Elijah Cummings and I have written legislation to have an independent commission. We always thought that was the most comprehensive way to get to the bottom of what happened, but now it's an insurance policy against an investigation that our chairman has really badly compromised.
Congressman, it's Nick Confessori. I'm curious if you have heard from Republicans on the committee about this in the last 24 hours, if they are concerned about this behavior.
Well, a lot of them have said that we don't need an independent commission because we're doing the work in the House committee, on the Intelligence Committee, and so that's always been the out for not having an independent commission. So I've heard frustration that they don't have that out anymore, and so where do we go now? There's a lot of pressure on Speaker Ryan to have the chair recuse himself. We were going down this investigative road together until last week, and then our chair took an exit and has driven toward the White House and hasn't come back. And that's a problem for people who are counting on us to get to the bottom of this.
I mean, it would be pretty crooked if he were able to keep this position as of now. So assuming he goes, who would then take his place?
Well, you know, the problem is Trey Gowdy's next in line. I say the problem, I like Trey Gowdy, and I've always respected Trey Gowdy, but his questioning a couple weeks ago was just absolutely beyond the pale. When he didn't want to hear anything about Russia, he was obsessing on leaks. So you want to take it to that guy? I mean, no. I don't
Who's
think
fair?
So. I
Who's
mean,
not?
Listen, McCain's got it right. The Republicans in the Senate's got it right.
Select committee.
Bill, they're going to have a select committee, right?
I don't. You think they'd have to, but in Trump's Washington, things that we think have to happen don't have to happen. Can I ask the Congressman a question too?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sort of obsessed with the White House side of this, so I do think it's a White House scandal more than a one member of Congress scandal. So, Congressman, when you go to the White House, you have to get cleared in, right? Even though you're a distinguished member of Congress, and some staffer clears you in and escorts you when you're there and so forth, and then to get on a computer.
It's not an internet cafe. You can't just walk in and receive classified information.
And you can't just go on a classified.
You
can't just go on a classified computer when you're there. And
someone is always with you.
And when you've dealt with them, don't you have the impression that if you're meeting maybe a junior staffer, that he tells his bosses that he's meeting with a congressman? I mean, this isn't something that people just randomly do. It gets reported up the chain, presumably. I mean, there has to be coordination of these things.
It's one branch, Bill, going over to visit another branch. Everyone in the building knows that you're there in the building.
Wow.
Yeah. David Ignatius, I'm curious, David, do you agree with what Bill has now said several times, that this is far more than a scandal or a crisis involving one congressman, that this is a White House issue at this point, this visit and this sharing of intel, breaking basically all the rules and the norms of intel sharing?
I do think Bill is right. For weeks, President Trump has been doubling down on his initial tweets accusing the Obama administration of essentially political collection of intelligence about him, about the Trump transition team. He said it again and again. He hasn't backed down. People say it didn't happen, it didn't happen. And this is the latest chapter in that, in which Nunes goes up, meets with this mysterious source, and then comes out and says, I've seen really disturbing evidence that there was incidental collection, but it's all about the same issue, political collection within the White House. So I think this has been an issue for the president, driving it again and again, and it's going to keep going. I just want to ask the congressman, if we have just a second, whether his committee will look at all at who Nunes's mysterious source was. Who was that? Who authorized that person to share this most valuable intelligence with him?
We've asked him for the sources, and of course he says he doesn't share sources. The problem with that answer is that we're all on the same team. We've always been on the same team up until now. He told us last week we'd have the information by Thursday. We haven't seen it. We had a meeting yesterday, and we're told that nothing has been sent over. And the agencies, they don't even know what he's referring to.
Was it Steve Bannon?
And by the way, that's why I think this is what I was saying before. It's such nonsense because the Justice Department doesn't have this information. The agencies don't have this information. They are doing what they do. They're deflecting. This is a far more elaborate version of Trump's Sunday morning tweet. You have the head of the Intel Committee hold a press conference on Capitol Hill. The press flocks to it. And you have him go to the White House. And then he comes out of the White House. And the press flocks to it. And he says, I haven't. But if you follow what he says, he has contradicted himself, Bill, about 27 times. I've got evidence that the president was right about the Obama tweet. And then the next interview, he's on with Jake, and he goes, oh, no, of course, there's no evidence that the president did it. And then they're just, I wish I could use the word, they're just making stuff up.
And they're trying to have a discussion about the appropriate level of unmasking, which is a fairly technical issue of how much you should circulate this stuff and how much you conceal the U.S. persons that are captured in conversations between foreign diplomat and his home office or whatever. But there's no evidence that that's been a huge problem. Have there been a ton of leaks, non-Russia, remember this is what Nunes says, this is non-Russia related leaks about Trump personnel dealing with other governments or Trump personnel? No. So if there was an Obama plot to unmask, they haven't unmasked anyone.
He even backed off that yesterday, saying he hasn't seen the documents.
So what are we talking about? Yeah.
Maybe, I can say this, Mike, maybe it's there. Maybe there's something there. Maybe they improperly unmasked U.S. citizens. Maybe it's there, but Nunes doesn't know.
There are two keys to this.
Right now, he doesn't know.
There are two keys to this. Who signed him in? That's going to be a public record.
And who called them?
No. The second one is the computer code, logging onto the computer.
I don't know.
Congressman Eric Swalwell, thank you. Everyone else, please stay with us. Thank you
Eric,
for being on.
Eric, tell me, are you going to take up golf or tennis? You're going to have some free time on your hands now.
And Joe, let me just say, this is what the president's wiretapping tweet would look like if he had unlimited characters.
Exactly.
It's pretty good. That and the Internet Cafe thing. All right, he's swinging this morning. Thank you very much.